Good morning, fifth grade students. This is Ms. Jagodnik, and I'm coming to you today with a video to help you with today's math lesson, 11.1, which is converting units of length. I've made a chart, and I'll prop up the phone in a minute so you can see it better, and then we'll go over a couple of the trickier guided problems on page 641 in your book. Let me prop up the phone. Okay, when you are converting units of length, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself, am I going from a bigger unit, like a yard or a mile, to a smaller unit? Then you're going to multiply. Or am I going from smaller units to bigger units? Then you'll have to do the opposite and divide. When you're going to smaller units, it's going to take more of them to measure the same space because they're little. So you multiply to get a larger number. When you're trying to get a bigger unit, like a mile, it's not going to take as many to cover the same distance. So you divide to get a smaller number of those units. Once you decide whether you're going to multiply or divide, you need to calculate using the right conversions. If you have your math book, in the front of your math book, there is a conversion chart that will help you with these numbers. But I've put a couple of the common ones we're going to need today up here. Remember, it takes 12 inches to make a foot, it takes 3 feet to make a yard, and it takes 1,760 yards to make a mile. So if I'm going from this side, the smaller units, to the bigger units, I'm going to use those numbers and I'm going to divide. But if I'm going from the bigger units down to the smaller units, I'm going to use the same numbers, but I'm going to multiply. Let's look at some of the trickier problems on page 641. The ones that don't come out evenly. Those are always the hardest, right? For example, number 5. Number 5 asks you to change the measurement 8 feet 7 inches to only inches. So first I want to think to myself, am I going from bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? Feet is bigger than inches. So I want to go from feet to inches, a smaller unit. That means I need to multiply by 12. So first I'm going to take my number of feet, 8, and multiply by 12. 8 times 12. Gee, that's on my timetables. I know 8 times 12 is 96. But then I have this extra 7 inches. I've changed my feet to inches, but I also have this extra 7 inches that I started with. So now I just need to add that 7 inches on. Same unit, I can just add them together. So that gives me a total of 103 inches. So now I know that 8 feet 7 inches is equivalent to 103 inches. Okay? Now let's try number 6. Okay. Number 6 is very similar. It starts with feet, but not a whole number of feet, and asks me to go to inches. So once again, I'm going from a larger unit to a smaller unit. I need to multiply. And I'm going from feet to inches, so I need to multiply by 12. So the 5 part is easy. Just like we did before, we're going to do 5 times 12. That gives me 60 inches. But I didn't just have 5 feet, I had 5.5 feet. So now I need to decide what is half a foot in inches. I could do 1/2 times 12. Or I could realize that, wait, times 1/2 is really the same as dividing by 2 because I'm taking my 12 inches and breaking it into 2 equal groups. Thinking of it as 12 divided by 2, that means half of a foot must be 6 inches. Now I can put the 60 inches and the 6 inches together for a total of 66 inches. So now I know that 5.5 feet is equivalent to 66 inches. Now, let's look at another tricky one. Number 8 is asking us to go the other way. I am now starting with a large number of inches, 219, and I want to know how many feet to convert that into. Since I'm going from a smaller unit now to a bigger unit, I know that I need to do the opposite. I need to divide. I'm still working with inches and feet, so now instead of multiplying by 12, I'm going to divide by 12. So let me set up my 219 inches divided by 12. I can't do 2 divided by 12, obviously, so I'm going to start in the tens place. 21 divided by 12. 12 can go into 21 just one time. Using my long division algorithm, I can see that I still have 9 left over. When I bring down the 9 ones, now I'm doing 99 divided by 12. 99 divided by 12, the closest I can get is 8. 8 times 12 is 96. Now I have a remainder of 3. Now I need to decide how to give my answer. I can't say that 219 inches is 18 remainder 3 feet. I have to decide, what do I do with that remainder? Remember, that remainder is inches. I'm taking my 219 inches and dividing it into groups of 12 to see how many feet it makes. I can make 18 whole feet, but then I have 3 inches left over that I couldn't put into a group of 12. So one way I could give this answer is as a combination. I could say 18 feet, 3 inches. So 219 inches is equivalent to 18 feet, 3 inches. But since we're using measurement, I know the other way I can interpret a remainder is as a fraction. So if I just wanted to give my answer in feet, I certainly have 18 whole feet, and then I have 3 inches out of 12 for the next foot. So that would be 18 and 3/12 inches, or in simplest form, 18 and 1/4 feet. So 219 inches, I could call it 18 feet 3 inches, or I could call it 18 and 1/4 feet. Okay, I hope this video helps you going through some of the guided problems. Hopefully you'll be ready to try the rest of the independent pages on your own. I will be available for live teaching for my class, and other teachers will be available for questions and live teaching throughout the week as well. So save any questions you have until you get a chance to talk to me or another teacher about it. Work hard, kids.